Black people, we gotta have a conversation. One that too many of y'all are very uncomfortable to have.
Since you got your degree and you know every fucking thing.
I get it, Black people. We have this aversion to education, not because we don't think we're smart. I don't believe that's the reason at all. I think it's because it has been gate kept from us by these OFAs. The system, white supremacy, have kept us from quality education. They did not want us to read, and it was for a reason because they knew that, hey, when you unlock even formal education, even when it's not necessarily geared towards your group, right? Because the education system, as we know, it is not geared towards Black people, right? But even if you tap into formal education, something else still unlocks in your mind. You learn critical thinking skills, if nothing else. That is what school was supposed to teach y'all. That's what it taught me. And again, I work in education and I still don't like the system. You Black people who get upset with Black people who pursue higher formal education is ridiculous because we are the ones who can dismantle the matrix from the inside. A lot of times, y'all are upset with us who decide to be the only Black person in the room, not understanding the doors we're opening for y'all niggas. Why is it that y'all are so willing to put those on a pedestal who are grifters and don't value hard earned education and credentials? Let's talk about it. So, in light of this whole Cheyenne Bryant mess, here we have the Amanda Seals coming to save the day. Captain Save-A-Ho, if you will.
Why are you all so obsessed about Cheyenne Bryant? I'm beginning to think that this is a bot thing. Why are you so obsessed about this? Like, okay, she lied. I could see if she lied and like harmed people, but she was on my podcast and she was brilliant. I think it's fucked up that she lied. You know, and then that's that. The need to, if y'all went this hard against like Kamala Harris for supporting a genocide, then like, what would that would matter to me?
Yeah, but what do you do for the people, Amanda?
I think part of the reason is because we live in a world where we act like credentials is what determines somebody's effectiveness across the board. And in some respects, it is absolutely necessary. And in her respect, it actually wasn't necessary for her to do the work that she does.
That says a lot from somebody who self-diagnosed themselves. Just a quick recap, just so we can fully understand and bridge the gap about where I'm about to go. You have a grifter, Dr. Cheyenne Bryant, doctor, and I say that loosely because the bitch went and trademarked it and made it her name. Cheyenne Bryant has gone on record for the last few years saying that she's a therapist, she's a psychologist, she is all of these things. And I ain't gonna lie, when I first heard her converse with, she first had a conversation with Nick Cannon that was kind of unwrapped. But when she sat down with Cam Newton and blew up, and then we started seeing that she was already talking with Nick Cannon. And what's interesting about that is because of her proximity to celebrities like Nick Cannon and Cam Newton, that was why we knew her. Nobody really knew who this woman was before that. And probably for good reason. Even though she probably had already been making her rounds, she just didn't blow up until then. And when she introduced herself under the guise that she works in the mental health industry. Now, but as someone who has the credentials of working, who's in the midst of it, I find it very disheartening when a Black person, especially a Black woman, comes along and she pretends to be something that she is not, something that cannot be proven. And you come out and you say, I don't have to prove it to you. Everybody who has licensure and credentials has to prove it. Even when I was selling life insurance and health insurance, guess what? If I had to announce my license number to people who ask so that they can look me up, that is why people are protected. Everybody's protected under that. You get insurance for your own practice in case somebody wants to sue you. And also the patient or client gets insurance if you are malpracticing. And in this case, Cheyenne Bryant, who is not a doctor, she's still malpracticing even though she does not have an ethics committee to answer to. But you got people like Amanda Seals who makes it seem as though formal education means nothing. Listen, black people, and I'm talking to black people because I've had this conversation. I've had this conversation not even a full year ago where I told somebody I got a master's degree in psychology because I didn't even bring it up. Somebody else brought it up and I just confirmed and they made it seem like that didn't matter. In the room, I am the expert unless somebody else has the same credentials or higher when it comes to psychology. If I am the only one in that room who has a formal education in psychology, yes, in this world, that means that I am the expert. Period. Right? It's about education levels, right? Hierarchies, which some of them don't serve us, but some of them do because they exist for a reason. And we have to understand who falls where on a certain level. You would not let me perform a open heart surgery on you because I don't have the credentials. I don't have the experience, even if I've done it before, because I don't have the formal education. You can't rely on me to understand certain things that people who were educated formally do understand. Same thing goes for any area of science or expertise. Even if I go back to when I sell life insurance, I'm not licensed anymore to sell life insurance, but because I was for several years, right, I would be considered the expert even though my license has expired versus you who don't have a license. I can tell you things about life insurance that you don't know because I have the formal education in that industry. I get it, black people, we have this aversion to education, not because we don't think we're smart. I don't believe that's the reason at all. I think it's because it has been gate kept from us by these OFAs. The system, white supremacy, have kept us from quality education. They did not want us to read, and it was for a reason because they knew that, hey, when you unlock even formal education, even when it's not necessarily geared towards your group, right? Because the education system, as we know it, is not geared towards black people, right? But even if you tap into formal education, something else still unlocks in your mind. You learn critical thinking skills, if nothing else. That is what school was supposed to teach y'all. That's what it taught me. And again, I work in education and I still don't like the system. But the only way I can beat the system is by joining within it and dismantling from the inside. You black people who get upset with black people who pursue higher formal education is ridiculous because we are the ones who can dismantle the matrix from the inside. I'm not saying all of us have that intention. Of course not. We know there's black sellouts. People get formal education just so that they can kind of be in more proximity to white people and less to black. I know they exist. I know those are people who will be the only black person in the room and they don't open the doors for others. I get that. But a lot of times, and I had this conversation a few years ago on TikTok, a lot of times y'all are upset with us who decide to be the only black person in the room, not understanding the doors we're opening for y'all niggas. In psychology, we are so underrepresented as black people, as black women, especially. Literally, black therapists, black female therapists, is probably about 4.1% compared to all women. There's a smidge of us in the industry, a smidge, and it's because not only the gatekeeping of it all, but also there's a mental shit thing that's going on in our community, a pathology that we have to break. That is number one, too hard to be educated. That's bullshit. It's not. There's so many resources that can help you go to school. Okay, so we gotta let that go. Not only that, the degree that we say that it's hard, it's everything is hard, regardless of whether you pursue higher education or not. It's even harder if you don't. The numbers show that. This is the way the system is made. You can't make it and be this big time person without formal education. It's very difficult. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It's very difficult, and you likely won't ever break that. You got to get some kind of education, even if it's just going to a trade school, even if it's just getting certified to do something for 6 months. It doesn't matter. It don't have to be 4 years. It don't gotta be 2 years. It gotta be 10 years, nigga. Just go and get some kind of formal education. You need it. You have to. You have to. You won't be able to do nothing in the system. That is the way the system is designed. And honestly, we can be against it. We can think it's bullshit, but it's for a reason. I don't want to talk to people who don't know what they're talking about. I don't want to. If you think you're smart, if you are an expert, then prove it. How do you prove it? In this system, credentials and licensure. That's the only way. And credentials and licensures is followed up with formal education. I don't want you coming and fucking with my plumbing if I don't think you went to school for plumbing. I don't want you building tables and shit in here, right, from scratch if you didn't go to school for carpentry. I want to know you certified, especially if I'm paying you. So as black people, we have to stop the Oh, you ain't got to go to school to be an expert. You ain't got to go to school to be successful. You ain't got to. Can you stop fucking playing? I just want y'all to stop playing. And again, I get it, right? Like I said, going back, the system, this education system has always been against us. That's why so many laws exist in education in the world. Is because people have consistently pushed us out of spaces that we should belong in. They have taken away everything from us. And Black people, historically, education, we loved education. Knowledge was really power for us. In ancient times, that was our religion. Knowledge, education. I kid you not. This is you can just go look this shit up. Or matter of fact, if you want to go read my book, because the source material is available to you here. I talk about all of this shit. Everything I talk about on this channel, I have talked about in this book, ad nauseum, in the deepest form. I show you why we are the way we are. And y'all don't want to understand. Y'all don't want to grasp what this system is about, what it does to people on purpose. You would rather get mad at the people who look like you, who rise up in the system, because somehow we've learned how to master and navigate it. You look at us as the sellout, as the want to be white, as the people who you're the only Black person in the room and you've forgotten about other Black people. Y'all look at us like that. Some of us that you should look at them like that. I totally agree. But some of us know, some of us have the mindset and the heart that know, I am only, trust me when I say, I am only acclimated to this system because the only way to break it is from inside. This shit got the hardest impenetrable shell on this matrix, on this system. This shit is so fucking hard to break through if you think you can from the outside. Being poor, you can't do shit. Being uneducated, you can't do shit. You can be like, no, I don't want to be a part of the system and decide not to go to school. You can be, I don't want to be a part of the system, decide not to pay taxes. You can do all of these things, but guess what? You won't be able to affect any fucking change. All you do is be outside the system looking at everybody else like, look at these idiots. Yeah, we all might be dumb. We all running the rat race on the hamster wheel, going fucking nowhere somewhere. Sometimes, I mean. Some of us break the fuck off the wheel and still be running inside that wheel, but we going somewhere. Let us do that. Let us cook. Because what you won't do, somebody will. And because they will, you should be grateful. When you sit down and you lay down, there's some of us that stand the fuck up for you, in service of you. And Dr. Cheyenne Bryant is shitting on us who do that, who actually want to get the formal education. She's making a mockery of the hard work it takes to really try to affect fucking change in this world, in the change in the Black mind. We are vulnerable, Black people. We are. I don't care how strong y'all think we are, but we are vulnerable by design. They made it so that we could be the easiest to attack. We are the low hanging fruit. It's why we have so many people selling out for $1 because they gate kept so much, they took away so much, they ruined so fucking much in our community. So now we can't even see what's good. What's good, we associate to white people shit. Education to y'all is white people shit. A person coming around here speaking, being Black, speaking articulately, knowing how to code switch, know how to actually appeal to white people. I know how to appeal to white people. Love everybody. But I don't trust none of y'all. Even the ones I do trust, I still don't trust. Because at any moment, your whiteness might take precedence over your relationship with me. I know how white people operate. But I'm not going to stop dealing with them. Because first of all, I don't have a choice. And secondly, not all of them that bad. But I understand who they are at the core. But I know how to get in good with white people. I know how to make use of them. That don't mean I'm going to sell out. This make me chummy with them. Makes me aware. Makes me smart. Makes me strategic. But again, y'all look at us like we're the bad guys. Because we want to go and pursue a higher education. Because we want to know how to master the system. You can't master it from the outside. So that gets me to Amanda Seales, right? Amanda Seales is interesting. It's interesting that she questioned Kamala Harris so much. It's interesting that she questions the credentials of others, but because you see a Black woman who literally looks almost like she could be your kin, she reminds you of yourself. You decide to veer on the side of blind Black loyalty. I talk about that in my book too. I have no blind Black loyalty. Just because you Black don't mean I owe you shit. I used to be pro Black. I used to be pro woman. Now I'm pro me. Everything is about if it aligns with me or not. I don't give a damn what you look like. Do it align with me? Is it conducive to a harmonious environment where Black people can get together and it works? And it doesn't. And Amanda Seales was somebody who I really respected at one point because I understand I kind of understand who she is. Like we're very similar in a way. You know, I'm on the spectrum. She claims to be. And a lot of people get upset with people who like me, who I seem like she does seem like an analytical mind, but there's still a human side to us, meaning that we can have biases that don't serve anybody. And her being biased and making it seem as though it's okay that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant lied, especially in a mental health industry, you're making it seem like she's still effective. It doesn't matter, she's still effective. She didn't hurt anybody. She did. Hurting people does not mean that you go out here and you create monsters. It doesn't mean you go out here and you actually physically pow pow pow. It doesn't just it's beyond just that, right? Because you can have an ideal, you can have a pathology that is harmful.
Of holding parents criminally responsible for their children's behavior.
I was constantly thinking of ways to placate her massive ego.
Pay attention to how she's rocking back and forth trying to find the words. She really is nervous and trying to make up something in her head as we are watching her live. That's crazy.
I said it earlier. I said it's circumstantial. I think that if a parent is neglecting their child of what's needed for them to be mentally stable and healthy and be in a state of mind where they can actually, operate as a citizen who isn't impaired, then I think that that parent who's providing those resources, should not be have consequence or discipline.
She doesn't really know where she's going.
Again, if you're neglecting your child in any manner, I think there should be consequences to a parent, no matter what, if there's neglect at the hands of a child. But y'all know how I feel. I feel gentle parenting makes for a gentle child.
All season long, I argued that children should never be spanked or hit, which is what the entire modern child psychology field believes.
And when you teach other people that, and they believe you under the guise that you have the credentials and the expertise, that is dangerous.
Taking a bath together. No sex. Because you both have what the Bible says marriage requires, discipline. To take a bath together.
Hey.
And have a conversation. A little triggered over there? A little triggered?
No, I just got to couch this. I got to couch this. Don't take that bath until y'all get that ring on there.
Until you get that discipline, too.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
Discipline.
Yeah. Don't do it.
Discipline.
You're going to make me lose my license. Listen, she's talking to married people. It's different, a heightened level. Thank you.
And let me say this.
Yes.
I'm also talking to unmarried people. Because
don't get in that bathtub. Don't y'all get in that bathtub.
And I totally understand. Some people might look at my content and be like, well, you got some dangerous mindsets. I want people to be free. People to be free to be who they are. I don't want you to harm any other people. And harming other people is suppressing them. It's suppression. If you think that people being themselves authentically is going to cause harm to other people, that's problematic, especially if you know that it's not. This one for all my niggas in the whole wide world. Hey, Jay here, and I am the voice of my ancestors that could not speak. For those of you who agree, this is some gear for us. This is an original statement with the Black American flag that I came up with, and it is near and dear to my heart. I love this statement. I will probably say this for the rest of my life because it is important for us to be the voice of our ancestors who could not speak and to represent this everywhere we go. I'm telling you, when I walk in a room full of other people, they look at me when I wear this. When I had the hoodie on, I was intentional, and they recognize exactly what I'm saying and what I mean. It's very important that they know that. All original black 24/7 365 available in multiple color hoodies, breathable hoodie. Now the other one was a fleece. This one's a little bit more breathable. I have t-shirts also in the same colors. It says Solon, soul of an African nation, if you're wondering. Okay, it has the United States in the background with the black people representative in the forefront with their fists up, representing a brand new day. All of those were original designs. Now, this is not an original design, but it is available in multiple colors and for a limited time. All the Juneteenth merch that you see here is available for a limited time. Of course, because Juneteenth is only once a year. Make sure you check it out and shop black owned for this Juneteenth, okay? It doesn't make sense to get these same shirts from somebody that you know is not black. And some of these colors only I will have, okay? Check out the link in my bio or below. All available at the Living Lovely brand. Make sure you check out the specials. Exclusively available website, livinglovely.com. I love you guys. And we're not talking about the extreme forms of sociopathy and psychopathy. Okay, psychopath and sociopath. We're not talking about those people who being themselves really will harm people. I'm talking about normal, everyday people who maybe you want to on the low end, you want to put pink hair dye in your hair. On the extreme end, you want to be a man who transitions into a woman. That's that's the extreme. That's it. That's what I mean. We have to let people be who they are. If it does not cause harm, you don't need to impede on that. But you want to know that what does cause harm is suppressing people, telling people they are wrong for existing, racism, telling people they are wrong for how they decide to serve God, xenophobia, all of that, religious discrimination. Those are things that we should be fighting against. Not allowing people to do what they want to do. That's what we fight against in this world. Not gay marriage, not transitioning, not deciding even abortion. If it's not the worst thing to happen to people, I don't understand why we can't understand that. That's a whole nother topic of conversation. But getting back to Dr. Cheyenne Bryant and Black people and our aversion to education, our aversion to getting credentials, our aversion to actually solidifying our expertise, we have to stop that. Go take your fucking ass to school and stop thinking that you can be somebody without education. You can't really. It's difficult. I'm not saying it's never gonna happen. I'm not saying it won't happen for you. I don't know that for sure. But what I do know is that it's very difficult and it's almost impossible. Almost impossible to think that you can get to these high heights without formal education. And a lot of people who think that, they follow grifters. They follow the people who dropped out of high school and became life coaches. And I'm a whole life coach, but I ain't dropped out of Nan's school, baby. She got degrees with this. What Dr. Cheyenne Bryant said, degrees. And I earned them.
I have multiple degrees.
And I will prove them to everybody. I post them. And once I get licensed, you can get that too. But then again, I don't want y'all too far in my business, only because I got to draw a line of distinction. But I'm just saying, y'all got to stop this. And y'all have to stop shortchanging people who have the credentials, period. Now, there are some people who have credentials who are still fucking crazy. Still don't know what they're talking about. That's why credentials alone, I do agree. I will always agree across the board that a credential alone is not enough. Okay, so we have to pay attention on both sides. But I want you to at least have that. Because at least I know you at least took part in the formal education. Whether you learn what you need to learn is questionable. But at least you took part in the formal education. And if you do some malpractice, I can sue the fuck out of you. And you got insurance and it will pay. I want to be sure. I need that safety net. You understand? You don't know nothing. Know this. Education will never not be valuable. I don't give a fuck what kind of system it is. Even if we go back, like I said, to before white supremacy took over and there was so much enslavement of Black bodies, Black people valued education. We were number one in mathematics. We were number one in science. We were number one in all things when it comes to knowledge. We did that. We started this shit. Okay? You don't know nothing, know that. So devaluing education is devaluing an integral part of what made Black people exceptional. We're still exceptional. We are. It's so many smart Black children and smart Black adults who pursued higher education and did things that are just unheard of. The first person in America to perform open heart surgery was a Black man. Girl, why do we play these games with each other as if we're not the cream of the motherfucking crop? They want to hold us back, and y'all let them. And I'm tired of it. Frankly, stop letting them. And if so happen that Dr. Cheyenne Bryant hears this message, which I doubt she will, because she probably done ignored some of everybody, even the people who got a way higher following than me that's talking shit. I know she's trying to ignore everybody. Sis, you did not have to double down. All you could have said, look, I just wanted to use these credentials because I worked hard when I went to school, and I was very disappointed that I couldn't. Y'all, I'm sorry if I lied and I harmed anybody. I can do a better apology like I'm you. I'm sorry. I'm not a doctor, not licensed anyway, but I would love to be called Dr. Bryant because of the work that I put in to become a doctor in good faith. And I just lost the opportunity because the school that I chose to go to became unaccredited while I was there. It was something I could do. Yeah, but bitch, you could have go back to school. Look at me answer. You could have took your ass back to school. It would have been worth it to go back to school. Do it all over again. You would have been fine. You can't get the time that you lost back anyway. So you might as well at least go and get the credentials that you already worked hard for. And who knows? All right, maybe you would have got some kind of reprieve. But you just bold-faced lied. And honestly, I'm going to be honest. I don't even think the girl went to school no more. I don't think she went to school. We can't find a master's degree. We can't find nothing but a bachelor's. And a bachelor's is becoming what it sounds like, for play. I'm sorry, no not to anybody who just got a bachelor's in it. Because if you just got a bachelor's and it worked for you, I'm proud of you because you did what a lot of people still ain't doing. The fuck? But a bachelor's is really slowly becoming the equivalent of a high school diploma. It is. Depending on what area you go into. People want masters or higher. They do. They hungry for it. They want to know you can pursue a higher education. And it's not even just, I think, about the education. It's about the dedication. It's about, are you a person that's willing to stay disciplined and pursue something that's so big that a lot of people can't do? Only 14% of people have a master's degree. I am in an elite group and I'm not even done. That's the funny part. So I'm going to always be in the top percentile when it comes to education. Hell, I'm in the top percentile when it comes to IQ scores. I'm always going to be that because I pursue greatness. And y'all can't get mad at people who do because you don't have it in you. Y'all have done this over and over again, Black people. We got to stop being mad at the Black people who want to be great and instead just allow them to rub off on us. You don't have to achieve their level of greatness, but at least always be in an attempt to be the best version of who you are. And don't be giving a fuck about other people who surpass you and being mad and jealous because they did. And agreeing, and again, going back to Amanda, I feel like the only reason that she relate to someone like Cheyenne Bryant is because she feels like she's just this super duper intellectual woman, but she doesn't have the education and the credentials to back it up. I don't give a damn about no honorary degree. That ain't shit. You can't even call yourself a doctor or a real formal education holder, if you will, for lack of a better word. You can't even say that. It's just honorary. Somebody gave it to you. Somebody gave Chris Brown a fucking degree. Fuck his cokehead ass. So what are we talking about? Pursue higher education if you can. If it's something that you want to do, and I tell all my friends this because not to put my friends on blast, but out of all my friends, I am the one who really went all the way. Everybody else I know just got a high school diploma. They doing okay, but they could be doing better. And I tell them all the time, like, girl, go back to school. What's stopping you? Just go back. You're not doing anything anyway. Time is wasting. Time is going by no matter what you do. Don't stop yourself from pursuing a higher education because you will get more money. It's guaranteed. Now, it's not guaranteed that it'll be the money that you want to make. It's not guaranteed that you might even work in your field. But because sometimes still you have a formal education, people look at that and they value that and they like, I'll give you a couple more dollars just because. I promise. Anyway, at the end of the day, y'all, respect education. Formal, informal. Informal will always still be something that can be relied upon. But formal education in this system, it matters whether you like it or not. Whether you like it or not. Again, my name is Lovelii. I am your accountability coach, and it is my life's purpose to get Black people to mentally unplug from this patriarchal system of white supremacy. Mentally unplugging does not mean physically unplugging. It does not mean that you become off the grid, like I said earlier, and be the person on the outside in. It just means mentally you understand what's going on. You can't be controlled. You are sovereign in your being. That being said, go get a higher education because it helps again to mentally unplug. It helps you to understand what's going on in society. It helps you to critically think. Love y'all, and I'll see you in the next one.